my website right now and download my free course on alternate picking mastery. It contains 5 essential exercises that will take you to alternate picking mastery faster than you can imagine. And then I've included my method of how to lay out a practice plan in just 1 to 2 minutes that will absolutely boost your results like nothing you ever tried before. So go download it right now. It's free. So I got this comment, about confusion, because I tell you to do one thing when you do alternate picking. I tell you to move your hand like this and not use the arm to force you, and all kinds of principles that I've learned and that have enabled me and the students that I've been able to teach to get to alternate picking mastery, not only in the fastest way possible, but also with the greatest results. And when I say that, I mean precision, accuracy, ease of playing and playing speed. But it's like, people then say, but I just had a Michelangelo de Baggio. Is that the right pronunciation? I don't know. I've never really studied him because he played with a slapback echo, and I never heard him play without distortion. So I never picked him as an alternate picking guide. What I did do back then, and this goes for all techniques, this is not just alternate picking. What I did back then is I looked at people and said, okay, I want this technique to be as good as possible, so I'm going to pick idols or teachers on the basis of, can they perform this technique on an acoustic with no compression and no distortion, so I can really hear, is he really good at it or is he faking it? Because, a lot of things can be easier when you have distortion on, or you can make something happen with a lot less precision than you have to use on an acoustic guitar. So that's why, and then I picked Paul Gilbert, because he could obviously, he wasn't playing an acoustic so much, but everything he played in his videos, he was demoing, or he played first with the clean sound, and it was just bam, It was accurate, not a single mistake. Every note came out perfect. There wasn't any holes in his runs when he was doing it, even without distortion. So that seemed like a high level of alternate picking mastery. Then I looked into John McLaughlin, who also seemed to have, he didn't use his arm, he didn't use any unnecessary muscles. It looked relatively effortless. And again, he was playing on an acoustic. Ali Meola, another thing. I wasn't too impressed with his alternate picking technique, actually, because he was doing a lot of one-string stuff and then, ending those. And then, down so I couldn't really, get a hold of, is he really a master of that technique, or is he just pretending? Sorry for any, Ali Meola fans out there. And I'm not trying to put anyone down, but we have to be realistic when we look at these things, right? So John McLaughlin, Ali Meola, and Paul Gilbert, and they all had the same freaking way of picking. They all anchored their PC bone where the low E string meets the bridge, or approximately around there. They all used this technique rather than this technique, and so I just went with that. And that was the best thing I could do at the time. I didn't have no internet. There wasn't, stuff like that. There wasn't this amazing, avalanche of information coming at you about anything you want to know anything about, right? Like there is now. But so what can I say about, being confused is that you have to pick a thing. You have to say, okay, what am I really after here? What if it's legato, hammer-ons, and pull-ups? Find someone who is, really good at it. So you can really hear it and you can really see it. Like if you want to learn tapping, go to the best and say, what is he doing? How is he holding his hands? And is there any educational videos out there with him? Is there any advice in interviews to get clues of where to go? What I did was just I created a school around this for myself about how to do alternate picking, how to do legato, how to hold your hands, the most effective way. Try to be intelligent about it. And that's kind of my thing, right? And that's become the norm. That's how it always is. Always in the culture as well. That's why we have this is the correct way of doing it. It's just what we came up with is the most effective way. And sometimes, and very often actually, that's not the thing. Because we didn't come to this conclusion in the most intelligent way. We just, high-profile players got to define how to do things or how to approach things. And then we don't really question it. Nobody seems to, because that's the correct way of doing it. So you have to be very aware. Every time somebody says that, correct way, or, and if you do it any other way, that's really, cheating or whatever it is, right? So you have to, I can't say anything, but you have to use your own intelligence to be, try to, where do I want to go? What is the technique I want to build? And how should I do it, right? And then you can experiment with different stuff. But, so that's really my best piece of advice here. If I'm, if we're in a room by ourselves, you and I had to say, okay, how do you perform alternate picking? I would tell you to go take every single advice you've heard and then just scrap it and listen to me, right? Because the stuff I've been building, I really believe strongly in every single principle I teach around techniques. But that doesn't mean that I can't be wrong about stuff. And it doesn't mean that you can't come up with something that's even more effective, right? So there's no easy solution here other than the advice to just, focus. Focus on one thing. If Michelangelo is just the thing for you, then focus on him intensely and don't listen to anybody else for an extended period of time. So you don't, make a decision, right? Take a pick, right? And then go in that direction. I advise you to go in my direction, of course, because I'm me and I strongly believe in what I figured out around these techniques. But you have to take a pick and then, shut everything else out so you get some experience with whatever it is that you've picked, right? So now you have experience and then you can go pick something else or say, this doesn't seem to work. Of course, this can take a lot of time if you jump from one to the other, having to try out different methods and techniques. But what can I say? Listen to me. That's my advice, basically. But again, I'm not saying that I have the only answer. I think I do. But I'm not saying that you can't, get really intelligent about this and then come up with your own answers as you go along. Or you can find people who have a better answer for you than I do. That takes a little bit of effort to say because I strongly believe in my way of seeing things. That's why it's my way of seeing things, right? But there's no easy answer other than focus. Make a decision, right? If you have a big smorgasbord in front of you, you also make decisions. And each and every time you make a decision, it's a decision to not do something else, to not have that on your plate, right? And that can be a tough decision, but make it. Make it as well as you can, but then make the decision to where you want to focus and then shut everything out for a period of time so you don't go, I'm confused all the time. No, practice all the time instead, right?
Subscribe for more free videos. Do it. Do it now. Do it.